Hello kids, I hope you're all studying well and regularly going through current affairs. So in today's session, we'll be going through the roundup or important news or whatever has happened in this world in the month of October. So let's get into it. Let's try to see what is it. Now the first thing that we'll be discussing is with regards to appointments. Now talking about appointments, the first news, S. Parmesh, he has been appointed as the new chief of the Indian Coast Guard, and his official appointment, or he officially takes up this position on the October 15th, which he has already taken. Now coming to the next one, Justice Sanjeev Khanna. Now talking about Justice Sanjeev Khanna, he's been appointed as the next CJI of India. It is very important for you to know about this name as well as the person and some of the important judgments that he has delivered in the recent years. Now talking about this, there is likely a chance that he may take the oath on November 11th. Reason being, November 10th seems to be the last day for the current Chief Justice of India, who is Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. Now talking about this, next we have the new president for Tunisia, that is Kais Saied. He wins for the second time. This is his second term. Now we come to the next news, which is national news. Now talking about national news, this year we celebrate 10 years to Swachh Bharat. In the year 2014, that is 2nd of October 2014, we introduced this Swachh Bharat scheme or Swachh Bharat mission, and this was to eliminate open defecation and improve solid waste management. That was to create an open defecation free village. It is very important for you to understand this. The administration for this at the urban level is managed by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and at the rural level it is being managed or worked by Ministry of Jal Shakti. Coming to the next news, again important news for you all to understand, that is the Humsafar policy. Now what is this Humsafar policy? Basically it is with regards to transforming India's highway infrastructure. So the aim here is to revolutionize the travel experience for Indians at the national highways. Now talking about this, the administration here, obviously it is by Ministry of Road and Transport. And then talking about this, there are certain key features that you all must know. Number one being clean toilets, ensuring hygiene and sanitation. Next being baby care rooms for traveling families. Similarly, there is a provision for wheelchair accessibility. Likewise, there is a EV charging station. At regular intervals, there will be EV charging station. Next being adequate parking space, that is a must in today's time. And next being dormitory services at the fuel station. So wherever there is a dormitory service, it is generally near to the fuel station so that a person can relax and rest for some time. Coming to the next news, that is LUPEX. Now what is this? This is India's 5th lunar mission. And with regards to this, it is launched in collaboration with India's ISRO and Japan's JAXA. Now, the aim here is to explore or understand Moon's resources, particularly water in its polar region. Understanding the same, the mission's duration is for 100 days, and the weight for the machine itself is 350 kgs. Please try to make a note of this and go in depth a little about it. Moving on, we come to the next news, that is Supreme Court upholds Assam Citizenship Act's validity. Now what is this? With regards to the constitutional validity of Section 6A of the Citizenship Act of 1955 was upheld by the Supreme Court, and this was delivered with a majority of 4:1. Now talking about this, what basically is Section 6A? Now this was introduced through the Assam Accords, and it was signed on 15th of August of 1985. Now here the idea or the aim was to resolve issues that are arising from influx of migrants from East Pakistan into Assam. So anybody who enters Assam or this region before 25th of March of 1971 will be given citizenship, and anybody who enters post that will be considered as a foreigner or have the position that they can be deported. Coming to the next news, the person we see in this image here, he is Arjun Vajpayee. Now he is the first Indian mountaineer who becomes world's youngest mountaineer to summit 6 peaks over 8,000 meters in the year 2018. Now, Arjun climbed Mount Everest in 2010 when his age was just 16 years and 11 months and 18 days. Now, this makes him the youngest Indian to climb Mount Everest at that time. Similarly, the next image that you see here, that is of Nima Rinji Sherpa. Now, this is a Nepalese teenager. He has broken the world record for the youngest mountaineer to summit Earth's 14 highest peaks. It is very important for you to understand this. Nima Rinji Sherpa, who is 18 years old, stood atop Tibet's mountain Shishpangma at about 6:05 a.m. the local time on October 9. It's very important for you to understand this. Similarly, an important trivia here is, in every climbing he's been accompanied by his partner, who is Pasang Nurbu Sherpa. So please have a look at this as well. Now we come to the next topic, which is international news. Now, talking about international news, first news that we'll be discussing is with regards to WHO on trachoma. What is this? Basically, WHO has officially recognized India for eliminating trachoma as our public health problem. Now, talking about trachoma, this achievement basically follows a decade of efforts that we have taken at our national level with regards to the National Trachoma Control Program in the year 1963. From that time, it has been started. Now, this includes surgeries, antibiotic treatments, and the WASH initiatives. Moving on, trachoma caused by the bacterium Chlamydia trachomatis is one of the leading causes of global blindness. So, it is very important for you to understand this. WHO's director, Dr. Tedros, has praised India for its commitment to combating the debilitating disease, joining the ranks of Nepal and Myanmar in the WHO's South Asia region. It is very important for you to know this, and there are other 19 countries who have achieved this milestone of eliminating trachoma. So please have a look at this. Coming to the next news for today, that is China's anaconda strategy. Now, what do we mean by anaconda strategy? Basically, anaconda uses this strategy wherein it completely holds its prey and starts suffocating it from all the four ends. And that is the same strategy that is used by China at the Taiwan's or near Taiwan. Now, what is this? Basically, Beijing is systematically increasing its pressure on Taiwan through a multifaceted strategy where the military officials are describing this as an anaconda strategy. Now, this is aimed to compelling Taiwan or Taipei to accept reunification of as inevitable. Now, talking about this, the reunification as inevitable, why? With the rising air and naval activities, potential cyber attacks and economic disruptions at the Beijing, this aims Beijing to Beijing here aims this way that it will isolate Taiwan. Now, talking about this, Taiwanese official report a significant rise in Chinese military activities with air incursions across the median line at the Taiwan Strait increasing over 5-fold in recent months. That is from 36, which was in the month of January, to 193 in the month of August. Now, understanding this, the naval vessels operating around Taiwan have also doubled from 142 to currently being 282 in the same time frame. So, please have a look at this, understand the anaconda strategy and how are you supposed to keep yourself updated with regards to this. Coming to the next one, now talking about, before even going to the next news, there are certain key points that you must know with regards to this strategy. Now, these key points are, number one, which I told you with regards to the military pressure. Secondly, this will also have a psychological warfare, and the third being economic isolation. So these are the three methods via which, and there is of course a historical context and impact to this. So with these four methods, Taiwan is basically China is trying to suffocate Taiwan and then completely isolate it. Now we come to the third one, which is India-China's LAC agreement. Now talking about India-China's LAC agreement, we know that recently we have signed this, and this is with regards to the patrolling along the line of actual control, and this was with China. Now talking about this development is seen a potential stepping stone towards normalizing the conditions that had arisen in the year 2020. Now this situation, it basically entails a structural approach with the disengagement and resolution of long-standing border disputes. Now especially or specifically in the areas of Depsang Plain and Demchok. Now talking about this, the agreement outlines the phased process. Now what are these three? There is a three-phased process. First one being disengagement. Now what about disengagement? Immediate withdrawal of the troops from the front line position. Next being de-escalation. Gradually then reducing the military presence along LAC, currently estimated to 50 to 60,000 troops from each side. And finally, demilitarization. At the long-term objective or realizing this at a long-term level, we want to reduce the military hardware and personnel at these border areas. Now we come to the next one, which is Colombia hosts COP16. Now what is this? Colombia is hosting COP16 where nearly 200 countries have engaged in the dialogue. Now this dialogue or this treaty basically comes from the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversities. Now this was actually signed by 196 countries to safeguard the biodiversity, and it is a central theme for this conference. Now understanding this, basically the UN's Biodiversity Conference is the regular meeting. It's a regular meeting for the countries who have signed and therefore are parties to the Convention of Biological Diversity, which is also known as CBD. Now understanding this, it is an international agreement for conserving biodiversity with the vision of living harmony with the nature by the year 2050. Now the first conference for this, that is Conference of Parties to the convention, that is COP1, took place in the year 1994. So please have a look at this in depth and try to make notes with regards to COP16, COP1 and all the important conference of parties. Now we come to some of the important military exercises. Number one was Nasim al-Bahar, that was between India and Oman. Similarly, we have the second one, which is Simbex 2024. This was with India. This was between India and Singapore. Likewise, you have Kazin, that is the exercise Kazin, that is between India and Kazakhstan. So please try to have a look at all the three military exercises. Coming to the last part of today's session, I want you all to go through all of these news, and in the descriptions you will find all the earlier weekly current affairs for the month of October. Go through it in depth and I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and all the best.